We have to open our minds to the infinite possibilities of what the cosmos has to offer.
What do you got there?
Divine inspiration. LSD. Fuck it.
This guy. I guess it's this guy that will herald the emerging new MCU going forward. So move over, John Krasinski. It's about to get a whole lot worse. This week, news came out that Pedro Pascal had been cast in the Fantastic Four movie, along with Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm, Joseph Quinn as Johnny Storm, and Ebon Moss-Bachrach as Ben Grimm. We don't know whether Doctor Doom is cast or whether he'll even be in the film. Either way, Pascal's casting seems to be a desperate attempt to revive the dying empire that is the MCU. What could they possibly do going forward? Join me, dear viewer, as I dive back into the raging dumpster fire that is Disney's Marvel. By now, the disaster that was the Marvels and Ant-Man 3 has released and created shockwaves in the industry. The result was a $300 million loss on something we in the YouTube community told them over and over would fail. I guess Disney completely fell for the sunk cost fallacy. Disney just keeps throwing good money after bad, and they keep losing exorbitant amounts of money in the process, and it doesn't actually have to be that way. Unlike Disney, Warner Brothers pivoted hard once the acquisition took place. The new head honcho over there, David Zaslav, axed everything that was hemorrhaging money. The most infamous case, which the Critical Drinker actually did a production hell episode on, was Batgirl, a film that was in the can and ready for release. But the executives at Warner decided to scrap the film altogether to both save money and save face. They recognized that pandering to toxic feminists was a recipe for disaster. They actually knew their audience, unlike Disney, that kept chasing a phantom audience of women that didn't exist. Warner Brothers correctly ascertained that their key audience is male, and they wouldn't go for fourth-wave feminist BS. But what about Marvel? Did they learn their lesson yet? The Marvels was undoubtedly a tough pill to swallow over at Disney. They are in full damage control mode over there, and they are doing everything in their power to salvage whatever they have left, which sadly isn't much. They attempted a hard pivot away from Kang the Conqueror following the allegations levied against their star Jonathan Majors. In the season 2 finale of Loki, it was Loki who became the master of time, not Kang. Having slashed their 2024 release schedule of 3 films down to just Deadpool and Wolverine, whose trailer also dropped this week, they seem to be formulating a new strategy going forward. Needing to recoup their investment in their purchase of Fox, Disney is going to push very hard to introduce the Fantastic Four and the X-Men in a desperate attempt to regain relevance. But is combining all realities into one sacred timeline the right move? We saw this hard pivot in action in the post-credit scene in the Marvels. They brought in Kelsey Grammer's Beast back from the Fox universe, which is signaling that the two franchises will somehow merge into one super universe. The Deadpool and Wolverine trailer also seems to suggest this. This is going to create a mess so big that no one will want to watch this garbage. Bringing in past stars like Kelsey Grammer, Ryan Reynolds, and Hugh Jackman is showcasing that money is Disney's greatest problem. The more money that studios throw at movies in the form of CGI and expensive actors, the worse the movies become. And once movies approach the $200 and $300 million budgets, they become an investment that the studios can't afford to lose. So they keep throwing good money after bad ideas. The business side of the studio gets involved in the creative side, and all hell starts to break loose, resulting in extensive reshoots, which drive up the cost of production. This is the classic too many cooks in the kitchen problem. Add to that, casting big stars like Pedro Pascal and Vanessa Kirby to the mix, and you get production costs that balloon completely out of control. At some point, someone is going to check the accounting statement. Now, don't get me wrong, Pedro Pascal is a great actor. He's proven to be highly versatile as an action star, he can do comedy, and as was proven in the Last of Us series, has a good dramatic range. I would honestly be okay with him as Doctor Doom, for example, but as Mr. Fantastic, I'm not sure he'd be as believable. John Krasinski and Emily Blunt are the definitive fantastic couple in my mind. Though the problem with Krasinski's depiction of Reed Richards wasn't the actor's fault, but rather the writers. It's the writers, at the behest of the studio executives, that push shitty, underdeveloped storylines that completely lacked character development. Essentially, they blew their load way too prematurely with Krasinski's Reed Richards. They should have introduced him more gradually, more methodically. But the general lack of planning over at Marvel has destroyed a once great franchise. Joseph Quinn was also an odd choice for Johnny Storm. That's a character that requires having a good comedic range to be able to deliver all the quips and one-liners the Human Torch is known for. The one actor I really don't have an issue with was Ebon Moss-Bachrach as the Thing. Bachrach has proven himself to be an actor that can do it all. Granted, he'll most likely just be doing voiceover for a CGI character, but I think his voice actually would translate well. Overall, do I think the cast is optimal? Not really. While Pedro Pascal is a great actor, he really doesn't have the look. Vanessa Kirby is a little odd for Sue Storm, but hey, she's pretty damn hot, so let's see how she does. Disney has been throwing good money after bad. What they need to do is slow down. They need to sit down and carefully plan out another decade of films like they did with the first 3 phases. They need to go back to the original strategy that worked, bringing in cheaper actors and building them up over time, as was the case with Robert Downey Jr.'s and the 3 Chris's, Evans, Hemsworth, and Pratt. These were cheaper actors that they used to build up the franchise that would go on to gross $29 billion. The first rule in business strategy is to stick to what works. But what do you guys think of all this? Do you think that Pedro Pascal, Vanessa Kirby, Joseph Quinn, and Ebon Moss-Bachrach were good choices for Marvel's first family? Or was this a total miscasting? Please do let me know down below in the comments, and as always, hit that like button, ring that notification bell, and smash that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one.